Washington mornings on the Mall.
105.9 FM.
And AM 630.
WMAL.
737 on WMAL. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson with you. Stuart Varney, host of Varney & Company's Business Network. Weekdays at 9:20 joins us once again. Great to have you on, Stuart. We have been talking a lot about Obamacare at the Supreme Court, and here's where I want to go with you on that. What impact do you think it will have on stocks, on the economy, if it is indeed struck down? And do you think we'll see any jockeying, any predictions, guessing games going on with investors in the next couple of months, and in advance of what they think may happen from the Supreme Court?
Three things. Number one, health insurance premiums go through the roof. If the mandate is struck down, that means new customers are not funneled into the health insurers, but they've still got to cover pre-existing conditions. They've still got to cover your kids up to the age of 26. That costs money. Premiums go straight up. That's number one.
But that's if the mandate is struck down, but the rest of the bill can stay. I mean, it's possible they could throw out the entire bill.
Yes, if they throw out the entire bill. Point number two, chaos. There's chaos already in the healthcare industry. There's going to be increased chaos, if that's possible, if the whole thing is thrown out, or if just the mandate is thrown out, because we don't know where we're going on this thing. We've made preparations. Some of those preparations are in place, some are not. They're all thrown out. Absolute chaos. And the point is, you can't do anything about it until way into next year, because this requires a political solution. The Democrats, they don't have one other than Obamacare. The Republicans couldn't get one passed other than they're not going to get one passed. You've got chaos way into next year. Very bad for the economy, very bad for every American.
Well, that's interesting.
You said there were three things.
Three things. Now you want to look at investors for a second.
Right.
I would think that the health insurance stocks would go down. Even if premiums go straight up, and I think they will, that still does not mean that the health insurers are going to be on a healthy footing, and I think they'll start to pay a price.
That's interesting, because James Carville said the other day, a Democratic strategist, said that this could be the best thing for the Democratic Party, and if there is chaos and if there is confusion and if prices do go up and maybe even the stock market goes down because of that, then maybe the Democrats will run on that.
I can see that argument.
Yeah.
I think that is a valid argument. The president would be able to run against the Supreme Court, against the Republicans, against the healthcare industry, and say, look, I tried. I gave it my best shot. They wouldn't let me do it. It's not my fault. He will play the blame game.
And then the Republicans say, no, it wasn't that we wouldn't let you do it. The Constitution wouldn't let you do it. End of the conversation.
But it also could mean that a lot of Republicans, not conservatives, especially if Romney's the nominee, they want to go to vote because they want Obamacare to be repealed. And if it's already repealed by the Supreme Court, do they have the energy, the motivation to go to the polls at that point, too?
Yeah, I mean, Romney is not the strongest candidate to go up against the president on the subject of health care.
Right.
Just not. Look, any way you slice it, the healthcare industry, and that's a huge industry that affects everybody, it is in chaos. It's not going to get any better, and the cost to you and me is going to go up, no matter what happens.
All right, I want to talk about the other thing that's driving people crazy, which is the high cost of gas. Here in Maryland, where I filled up my tank this morning, regular gas $3.99, mid-grade gas, which I put in my car, $4.15. It is starting to get to the point where we are indeed going to face $4.25 a gallon regular gas. How is that going to play out in the economy?
Well, let me draw your attention first of all to the Midwest, where they're going through a particularly ugly gas price spike. In Michigan yesterday, in a 12-hour period, the average price of regular went up 10 cents. That's just in one 12-hour period.
Wow.
That was Michigan. Today it's moved on to Indiana. A huge spike there. I believe it's up 8 cents overnight, just overnight. And Indiana, they're already paying, I think it's now $4.10 on average per gallon. So that's a politically sensitive area, and it's not going to go well for the president when those swing states show $4, $4.25 gasoline. For the overall economy, I don't think we've seen a negative impact just yet. In fact, we have not. But I think we will see it fairly soon.
Okay, and that brings me to my second question. I have heard commentary and read reports that some financial analysts out there believe that we could be facing a 3 to 4% correction in the market. And you in the past have been bad news, Stu. You've been sort of bearish about the market and where it stands. Where do you see it today?
I don't see a 3 to 4% correction. I hope I'm right, but I don't see it. The stock market goes up because the dollar has been going down, which makes the overseas profits of our big companies that much more valuable. That's the baseline for the stock market's recent advance. Every single one of our major American corporations makes a ton of money overseas. Many of them make more than half their profits overseas. If you're making money in much more valuable Japanese yen, Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, for example, then that money is worth more in U.S. dollar terms. Result, profits up, stocks up. I don't think that a slowing of the American economy will make a huge difference to the market. I certainly don't think it'll see a 3, 4, 5% correction.
And
Good to hear.
The comments that Ben Bernanke had the other day, did you read QE3 into that, or just more of the same of, low interest rates?
I did. I read both into it, actually. Somehow or other, they're going to keep interest rates down, and if need be, they'll start printing some more money. That's what the market read into it as well. That's why it went up 160-odd points in a single day. They're going to keep printing money. They'll keep rates low. They'll keep money cheap. They'll keep money plentiful. That's what he's going to do.
All right, Stuart. Great to have you on as always. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.